You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the October 2nd meeting of the Michigan City Fire Merit Commission. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Thank you. Just stay standing.
Sorry about that.
Let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Kalavic.
Present.
Mr. Deutscher. Not here. Mr. Biji. Here. Mr. Adrian. Here. And Mr. Nylev is here. Approval of the minutes of our executive session on September 14th, 2023. Need a motion to accept the approval of the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Need a second?
I wasn't there. I'll second it.
Any questions on the motion? All in favor, so go saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Nays? Same. Abstains? 1. Minutes of the special meeting on September 14th, 2023. Need a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor, so go saying aye.
Aye.
Abstains?
Aye.
Okay. And approval of the regular meeting minutes of September.
I will make a motion to approve the September 11th, 2023 Michigan City Fire Merit Regular Commission meeting.
I'll second it.
All signify by saying aye.
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 Abstains? Communications and claims. Any communications and claims? I haven't received anything. Haven't received anything for the people that helped us with the physical agility test yet, but I'm sure they're going to give us something for that. Report from the City Council. Commissioners, Commission Attorney.
The report.
Union Local 475. Fire Chief Legault.
Yes, sir. I'm going to go over our September calls first. We had 334 for the month of September. Year-to-date, that's 3,562. Prior year-to-date was 3,139 calls, so it's a 13% increase from the previous year. In the month of September, we had 6 fire calls, which included 2 structure fires, 1 vehicle fire, 1 natural vegetation fire, 1 outside rubbish fire, and 1 special outside fire. We then had 271 medical calls, 5 hazardous condition calls, 5 service calls, 45 good intent calls, and 2 false alarm false calls. I have our October anniversary is coming up. Our Captain Rob Steinbaum with 29 years, Captain Brad Kirkbaum with 23 years, firefighter Derek Jenkins with 3 years, firefighter Chase Martin 2 years, firefighter Andrew Cass 2 years, Mary Catterlin 2. I think she's got it. Griffin, no, correct. We haven't changed that yet. Mary Griffin 2 years, firefighter Logan Doktorowski 2 years, Richard Nagy 1 year. Which leads me into I want to read this to you. Commission, probationary firefighter Richard Nagy has completed his firefighter academy and now holds the required firefighter 1 and 2 certificates, or certifications. Probationary firefighter Nagy has successfully completed the EMT basic course that started May of 2023. He has passed the practical skills test, but was unable to get the written test portion scheduled before his 1-year anniversary on October 7th of 2023. This is due to scheduling requirements and is through no fault of his own. I'm asking for a 90-day extension of his one-year probation deadline to give him time to take and pass the required National Register EMT written test. His initial written test is scheduled for October 16th, 2023. Afterward, passing the National Registry, he would meet the requirements of the Michigan City firefighters contract with the City of Michigan City that requires new hirees to be a minimum of Indiana certified EMT basic. Williams on-tech training officer.
My question is, so why, is it his responsibility to make sure that he gets this testing, or is it the chief's office responsibility and training officers to get the testing prior to the year?
Both. I mean, he has to complete it in stages, but
Okay.
it's scheduled as soon as possible after he got done with his class, after he did the practical testing. It was scheduled as soon as possible.
Could the practical been done earlier than what it was?
Not that I'm aware of. This has happened before. I've asked for the Mayor Commission's extension for EMT purposes, and it was granted with a previous firefighter.
Because I believe the merit ordinance says he has to have that done within a certain amount, correct?
It does, but then also I think it gives you the ability to okay this.
Ms. Shaw?
The state ordinance says at the 12-month mark, you either gotta give them the job or send them step. And I had brought this up in a previous incident before this administration, had nothing to do with this administration, when they tried to extend somebody else out. And the state president, the PFFUI president, told me that we could have 18-year probation. All that individual's gonna have to do is go to file a lawsuit. He's 99.9% chance of winning it, because the ordinance states you either have to give him a job at the 12-month mark or fire. Now, I'm not saying we need to fire this guy.
Right.
This is something beyond his control. I'm just saying,
Right.
you can extend it, but I don't think it's gonna fly if you're gonna push it. This is something that's been done in the past, yes, but nobody's ever pursued.
But he has to,
It became a big issue with.
but he has to have that within a year, correct, to be on the job? No?
What do you mean?
To come off probation.
To come off probation?
Come off probation,
I didn't
yeah.
bring the contract out with me.
I mean, you look at it how you want, but the ordinance states that, the state states that you have to, you gotta give them the job or send them on their way.
Are you talking about qualifications for promotion? Is that-
No, this is
No? Okay.
coming off of probation.
Come on probation. I don't have the number right in front of me, but I had looked it up previously. I may still have it. I'll start looking. Because that was brought to me and people were beating me down for it. And
My question would
I
be,
dug into it.
my question would be then if we, how can I put this? Tell him he's off probation, he doesn't pass the practicals, then where do we stand then?
The written.
The written, see, that's where do we stand then? If he doesn't pass that, then can we let him go, or is he automatically on the job? Because we said yes. I don't want us to get in a bind that we say okay and it's not okay, you know?
What you're saying, I'm just saying what the ordinance states too.
Right.
Is
That's,
to run into an issue and it could turn into a legal issue and he could win that.
So right here, if I can read this,
What section are you on?
I'm at 54-162, section B.
52,
I'll read the sentence above it also. At the chief's request, the commission the commission may exclude a firefighter from this requirement. I better go to the top. Each new firefighter must, within his or her probation period, also attend and successfully complete an approved fire academy. Failure to attend, successfully complete an approved fire academy was offered by the commission, with determination of employment. At the chief's request, the commission may exclude a firefighter from this requirement who has previously served at another department and has successfully completed an approved fire academy. All right, my fault. That's something else.
I just don't want to get caught in a catch-22 here, you know? I
Training
mean,
of new appointees, it should be right here somewhere.
what's gonna happen? It's gonna be about 90 days. I don't think anybody objects to it anyway.
It's no fault of his own, is it?
The thing is, according to what the chief just said, it's both his fault and the chief's fault. It's just,
When the classes are scheduled,
Right.
there's certain,
Right.
there's no classes for him to take until now. is what
You're
it's-
at the mercy of you're at the mercy of the system, so to speak.
Correct.
So I'm not trying to bash the guy.
Right.
No, from what I understand, he's a great dude. It's just, you get into this, extending the probation, he can fight that.
here, right here, I think this is it. Each new firefighter shall at some point during the period of probation make application for firefighter. Never mind. And, okay, that's talking about the firefighter 2 certificate, comma, period, comma, and shall successfully attain EMT certification. Such certification shall be requirements of completion of each firefighter probation. Indiana State EMT certificate shall be maintained through the employment department, continuing employment with the department. And it goes into if it lapses.
So
It's not
my,
his fault.
so my question is this, if we extend his probation and he passes, can we make it retroactive to when?
His,
His anniversary is Thursday, I believe.
His 1 year? There where he don't lose anything?
with the previous firefighter. So if you consider the second sentence that I read about the EMT certification, along with the firefighter 2 certifications, it says during that period, make application for it. He's made application for it, he's just waiting for the testing.
Well, then it's not his fault.
That's how
Yeah.
did you understand that?
Well, look at it this way. This is the way I take it. Going from probationary firefighter to firefighter is a promotion, correct?
Yes.
Exactly. Not necessarily staying on the job is the promotion. It's going from probationary firefighter to firefighter. When you read that, from what I understand of it, we need to maintain, like me was first responder, you probably had nothing, but the way it works out and the way it is now, you have to have that EMT to get promoted. Not necessarily to stay on the job. to get
Yes,
promoted.
that's
So,
in
like,
the
if I
ordinance,
lose my-
correct.
Let's say I lose my EMT for whatever reason, I could get kicked back to firefighter, by the way I read it. I have to have, or at least first responder. For me, I still have to have at least first responder to maintain my promotion, is to maintain my promotion. It's not to maintain my job, it's to maintain my
I
promotion.
think
So if because here it says, the only thing I can find about a probationary period says, no firefighter can be so designated, it's under 54-172 qualification for promotion. Until he has satisfactorily completed a probationary period of 1 year, except where the Fire Civil Service Commission finds a probationary firefighter lacks the fitness required, it may, after a public hearing, extend his probationary employment for a period not to exceed 18 months.
That's a year and a half.
That's 54-172.
So, real quick, just for Mr. Taylor's comment, 54-162 under this other, at the end of this paragraph that I was reading from, it says, any new firefighter whose certification lapses and who does not become a recertified during the 1-year grace period, which shall commence on the date of the certification's expiration shall be terminated unless granted an exception for approved leaves, which include medical or military, by the Fire Merit Commission. They're talking about the EMT certification. So you can get terminated if you do not keep it up.
But it's not his fault.
No, I'm talking about not this
If you
guy.
don't keep it up, yeah.
Yeah, if you let it lapse, and then you do have to be certified within that 1-year grace period, or you can be terminated.
But it is in there that he cannot be promoted unless he has it. That is in the merit ordinance somewhere, I believe.
Your statement was you couldn't get terminated, right?
I don't think you would necessarily lose your job for it, but I guess at a certain period, you would probably have to do something with the individual. So,
Which is,
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about it later, but it's right
we're
there.
probably not going to, but I know what you're saying, I've read
It's in
that.
black
I
and
forgot
white, it
that part of it,
says-
But that's cool.
Shall be terminated.
You know, all I'm saying is, the guy can fight for it. That's all.
I'm saying,
So you-
I'm asking you guys to give them.
Yeah, well, what's he gonna fight about if we extend it?
Yeah, who's gonna fight it? I don't understand why you would
I'm not
fight it.
gonna get that argument. I'm just saying, I'm telling you, I dealt with this before, and I know what's told to me by the state. That's all. I'm not trying to get into the issue. I don't really care.
I'm just asking for 90 days for this guy to get his testing done.
So you were told by the state, if they extend it, he could
Then
fight
he,
it?
you know what, you can extend it all you want, but if he wanted to go get an attorney and fight the extension,
You probably would.
he's 99.9% chance going to win that.
Gotcha.
Now, is he going to do that?
Right.
He's probably going to call probation before it even gets going. Just saying, that's just saying something to look at, whether it's now or in the future, it's something to look at.
Well, I'm not gonna let, coming from me, I'm not gonna let a lawyer affect that decision. It's not his fault, we should extend it. In fact, I'm gonna make a motion to extend it.
Support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Abstains? Nays?
That's all I
Motion.
have, Commissioner.
Motion to extend. Anything else, chief?
No, that's all I have, sir.
Old business?
Mr. President, I've prepared a report regarding the salary, 2024 salary of the Michigan City Fire Chief and the Michigan City Chief Deputies. I'd like to play it. This is from the City Council meeting of September 5th. Councilwoman Tracy Tillman, she's the Chairman of the Finance Committee. I can pull that up real quick.
Wait, Mr. Kalaka.
Yes.
We don't have anything to do with the chief and his getting the pay, or if anybody doesn't oppose to listening to, I'm fine with that, but I don't think it has anything to do really with the merit commission with the chief, because we don't govern his salaries. It's up to
I don't want to know.
Okay.
Mr. Bijou?
I don't think it's relevant to what we're doing.
Okay. Any other old business? Only old business I have is that we have 20 people coming in for interviews on the 7th to finish up and start tallying everything for our hirees.
Question, now are we gonna get a sheet with questions?
Yes, there's specific 4 questions. It's all laid out and it's all done.
8 o'clock?
7:45 check-in, it started at 8 o'clock till we're done. We had to extend one person's because he received his letter late. We were informed, he went through everything, he passed the physical agility test, and we'll be having an interview on that date. We gave 15 minutes per interview. I think there's only 4 questions. If you expect, I haven't been to one of them. I mean, you have.
Last year, when I first got on there, it was Bob, myself, and another new commissioner.
Desiree Nichols.
No longer here. But anyway, and it's forbidden 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And then you have to judge them after,
So actually, you have that. When they're done, you have one more where you judge them how they answered how you think they answered
1
them.
to 10, something like that, whatever it is. I have to look up the procedure. But it's pretty simple. You just read off, every commissioner reads the same question off to each future candidate and go right down the line. It's a standard test, how many questions.
And we,
They're all pertinent,
right, and we allotted 15 minutes per interview,
It's not that much.
and it shouldn't be that. That gives us time to check everybody in and that. Any other old business?
Nope.
Any new business?
I've got to say, you know what, I was really impressed with the firemen, you guys did a good job, the people that worked for that agility test. That was the first time I've ever been there to see that thing, and you know what? The firemen that were running it, sweating their butt off. I mean, that was hard, it wasn't easy. Not to mention the guys that were taking the test, and they're sweating too. But as far as running around and doing all that stuff like that, I was really impressed. You guys did a good job.
Anybody have new business? Public comments. Commission comments.
Yeah, Mr. President, I just want to give everybody a heads up. The reconstruction of Paz Road between the Cleveland Avenue extension to Clover Lane, just east of Michigan City High School, is going to start a week from today on Monday. Reith Riley's doing the project. It's a long time coming. Finally got to have a nice, safe, decent, smooth road. So, any call for service or detour you have to make, you're going to have to make it. I understand they're also going to be running sidewalks put in between the new Early Childhood Learning Center at Woodland 20 to Michigan City High School. So it's $600,000 project. I think the city's paying $475, the county's picking up $175, and the police are doing all the traffic control, and the city's paying for the striping and all that. So,
And is that road closed the whole time?
It's gonna be done, the first four, they're gonna do, well,
Just-
the high school's on,
Right, but just so the chief knows that.
I'm sure
it's
the
gonna be closed.
portion between Johnson Road to the east entrance to the high school will be open, but I'm sure it'll be closed in portions. Well, the milling's gonna take 4 days, and the paving, the striping is gonna take another 2 weeks. They wanna do it the first week while they're on fall break at the high school.
That's good.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
to interrupt. I may be out of turn, but what is the status of that disciplinary?
What are you talking about?
You're right, you're right.
You talking about
That's,
for the 5 days?
that's old business. That was old business.
Yeah.
We have to go back to old business. We can do that, correct? Once old business is done, can we go back to old business? Since we,
It is,
Yeah.
I'm making sure, is it legal to do
That's
that?
fine.
yeah.
Well, under old business, with our executive meeting that we had, there was discussion that there was gonna be a motion made today for the firefighter who we were talking about in our executive meeting.
Right.
So we need a motion that, what to do with.
Make a motion that his 5-day penalty stays, and then he's relieved of the rest of it.
I just wanna make sure that he's not gonna be treated as an employee that failed his first drug test.
What?
I wanna also make a motion that I wanna make sure that he's not gonna be treated as an employee who failed his first drug test.
I don't know if it's his first one or not.
So are you
Wait,
following the
wait.
city policy, correct?
Right. The city policy would go up to 30 days, but I want to stop at 5 days. He's already served that, go back to work.
But you're opening the door for the city to do what he wants to, since the chief's office did give him a 5-day suspension. Therefore, the chief's office the city's gonna be able to put him through all the classes and everything.
If they want to.
They're gonna.
You know for sure?
I was already informed by that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes, I was informed that that's what they were gonna do. Miss Tatney George, she called me, and I called her because I got wind of it, and I asked her, how can you do this? Well, she still got wrote up from the chief. He's still, and I go, well, we have a meeting on the 2nd, and there's possibly gonna be a motion made, like we talked about, to go with his 5-day suspension, saying that the way we voted on what we voted on in the in the special meeting. So, I mean, you wanna open that door, it's up to you.
Because
I don't.
a refusal is, it's my understanding, refusal is treated as a positive drug screen, which would trigger the 30-day.
Can I ask a question, Commissioner?
Go ahead.
What you said is they're stating that they will uphold the corrective action plan, except if he gives them 5 days, you're not gonna give them the other 25 though.
No,
We're just-
that's voted on.
Right.
His motion is to keep the 5 days that you gave him.
Correct.
But with doing that,
This guy,
the city has the right
okay,
to still
implement.
put him through classes.
That's beyond us.
Well, may I amend your motion?
Sure.
And add, with no recommendation from our body, that any further remedial measures be taken.
I think where the big issue is, and what the concern is not even really having to go to class. But if it is considered, you guys said, I watched the meeting again today, which was about 1 minute and 41 seconds,
Yeah.
is that it would not be treated as a failure. Is the city going to abide by that? Because where the concern comes in is not that the individual has to go to classes or anything, it's that if something happens, let's say 2 or 3 years from now, let's say something does happen, he fails the test.
Yep, you'd be terminated.
He'd be terminated. That's where the
That's my
issue comes
concern.
in. Not classes or none of that.
And to me,
The individual he told me himself, he's not worried about the classes. It's
Right, that's,
is he going to come back, let's say later on,
and
if something happens?
And I think that the city, in my opinion, will try to make it look like it's his second offense. I just, by the way, Tatnita George talked to me. You know, they dumped this in our laps and they shouldn't have.
that should be up to the Fire Merit Commission on whether he should be treated as an employee that failed his first drug test.
You guys are subject to the city drug policy.
Yeah, I think the best we can do is make a recommendation.
Right. Because here, the random testing, 3.4, an employee who refuses to submit to a random test, who fails to report for the test as directed, who tests positive, or who intentionally obstructs the testing process will be subject to corrective action as outlined in section 7.
This wasn't a random test.
It was post-accident.
I'm sorry, oh, post-accident, okay. Well, then,
I think pretty much.
But we
it's
all,
the same.
during our executive meeting, we felt that the things that were presented to us, that there were some things that weren't right. The testing wasn't done correctly. I don't want this person to be under subjective of anything if we think that we agreed to not giving him any days off, but you're still gonna let the chief give him 5 days off, and I don't think it's right. I mean, they send the wrong form over there. First of all, the wrong form. The form says right on top of it, non-DOT, is what they send to get tested. According to the policy, it's supposed to be a DOT test. Well, if you send this over there, it's non-DOT test, they're not doing it correct according to what the policy says. So not only is the city wrong for having the wrong,
Why are you looking at me?
because you are the head of the city right here now. Nobody else is here to discuss this but you. That's why I look at you. I'm not gonna look at the president. He has nothing to do with this.
Form, I don't make the policy, so just to be clear.
Just be clear, but I'm just letting you know to go back to the city and say, hey, you need to change this.
It's been brought up.
Well, if it's been brought up, it's a little late for this person.
I'm sure she's,
So I would like to make a motion that we give us all his 5 days back.
Okay, let me back up a little bit. So when did this firefighter in writing ask for this merit commission to review the chief's discipline?
It was not.
It was not.
Never.
We don't have to. We can look at anything, the
No.
merit commission can,
This says it must be within 48 hours in writing, and it has to be part of his file.
He did not request that. I know what you're saying.
right.
I'll let him, because he may be able to say.
I called for an executive meeting because this had to be taken care of within a certain amount of days because the chief can only give him 5 days. If we don't get it done within the 5 days and we decide to give him the rest of the days and we go past his 5 days, he goes back to work. Therefore, I called the executive meeting to see what was going on. And when everybody came in, we talked to the chief, we talked to him, and we, as a board, made a motion in our special meeting because of what was done, to not suspend him anymore because there were some discrepancies in the testing and things they didn't test and how the test was done, along with the 5 days that the chief gave, because we said we'll extend the 5 days until the outcome of a little investigation we had. It had all to do with the cup that people urinate in. We wanted to see if that peaks at a point, and if it stays at that point, or does it come down? Well, we did a little experiment, and if the cup sat there for a couple minutes, the temperature went down. We don't know how long that cup sat there for this person, but the temperature did go down. And in our executive meeting, we talked about making a motion to give him the 5 days because the temperature did go down, it didn't peak. So therefore, the chief shouldn't give him any time off, he should have no time off. But now it's come to this meeting, and now we want to keep the 5 days. I'm perplexed about it.
President.
Go ahead.
Statement?
You
I
can?
gave you an affidavit that states how the test was done.
Okay.
They looked at it immediately. So that's the only information I have.
I mean, and we were told that he wasn't. See, it's a he say, she say. Who are we gonna believe? Should we believe the person that you talked to, or should we believe the firefighter? I'm just saying.
I didn't talk to him.
I'm just saying, and to
They
me,
filled out, they do this every day.
right, correct.
That's your decision. You have to figure out.
And maybe they just wanna give you that answer so they can keep the city on their, payroll. I don't know.
I don't either.
Exactly.
Your decision.
But all I know is that this form that you just said, that the city sends with them, says non-DOT right on the top.
You can talk.
I don't wanna talk, well, she should be here, shouldn't she? But she's not. It says non-DOT, and he didn't do a non-DOT, they did a non-DOT test.
Look, there's actually places to mark DOT test.
And all these are marked non-DOT,
That's your
okay?
decision, not mine.
Oh, exactly. That's why it's not you, it's the city. The city is not doing the testing right according to the policy. Therefore, throw it all out until they get their stuff together.
With all due respect, it sounds like you guys had a hearing without having a hearing.
We had executive meeting. It wasn't a hearing, it was executive meeting to find out what was going on, what happened. It wasn't a hearing, it was just an executive meeting. We asked the chief to say why, and we asked the person that was about to say what you had. We wanted to see before we gave them the 30 days. I'm sorry, when they dumped this in my lap, I'm not a rubber stamper. I'm not rubber stamping anything. I'm giving both people the opportunity to plead their case in an executive meeting. And that's what I did.
Well, if I had to vote, I'd have to abstain because I know how horrible the Working Well Clinic is. We had all kinds of issues with them all.
Thank you, I've said the same.
We had issues with them all those 18 years I worked at ANCO, constantly. It's a horrible, I had to go there one time. I said the prison guard brought in a prisoner and he was on his full shackle and leg shackles right in front of everybody in the waiting room. The man said he was almost humiliated by that. It's just, I can't tell you everything that went on with them. If somebody ever told me to go to the Working Well Clinic, I'd say, screw you, I'll pay out of my own pocket, have the membership here out of their union to go somewhere reputable. They got a good one right across from Walmart. I think those one went to LabCorp and Valpo, they're all really good. But we need to just rid ourselves of Working Well.
You want to have something to say?
So I just want to point out, in the last 9 months, this is the third time that the city has screwed up, right? I'll tell you why. Last November, I got random drug tested, right? Now, if you look on the DOT website, it states on there, the lady called my captain that day and said, hey, I have to leave. We're going to have to do this another time. Under DOT, it says if you are notified of your test and then it was canceled due to the administrator, you cannot be drug tested again. However, a month later, I'm tested again, right? Then we had the incident in January with the firefighter who didn't have a 72-hour notice to appeal the decision, right? A second time. And now we have this situation.
Didn't that person stay on a job and drive for eight days, working days? With no test results, and then he comes up positive?
And then, so all the damage to the city.
I agree with you.
The city says, oh, I'm sorry, we screwed up, and in the meantime, you're putting these guys through hell, taking money off their table.
Michigan City Base, Michigan City Fire Response 31 to American Eagle at 805 Lighthouse Place for 1050. Possible minor PI, Michigan City Base, Michigan City Fire Respond to American Eagle at 805 Lighthouse Place for 1050 with injury. County clear 1736.
So we're putting these guys through hell, punishing them. And girls. And the city every time just shrugs it off like it's nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, we screwed up. No, you didn't screw up. You're taking money off of people's table. A lot of us have children and wives. We have to provide. And it's just a joke to everybody, it seems like. The city laughs it off. I went to Todd Tanisha in January and said, look, I understand, I have the drug policy. What are the procedures you guys have to follow to ensure the policy is correct? I'll get back to you. Well, it's been 9 months, I haven't heard a word, right? So what are we doing here? Somebody has to do something. We're putting guys and girls through hell.
You know,
And then it's just shrugged off like, oh, we made a mistake, we're sorry. What the hell is that? Taking these people's livelihoods, man. And we're just sitting back like it's just no big deal, it's nothing.
Like I said, this guy, you determined it wasn't a failed test. Something happened, let's say just, things happen. Let's say something happens and, he fails a drug test, he loses his job. Or will he? Because
exactly, will he?
Because
That's
the
what
city
we
don't
don't
want
want.
to accept the test that he took later that same day. They didn't want to accept that.
And the test coming back on the job.
And I like to
Which
ask,
brings me up to another issue. He was having to test, come back, a return to work test after a 5-day suspension. From what I understand, we had an individual earlier this year, crossed over, didn't have to do a return to work test after a 30-day suspension. Who makes the decision who takes the return test?
Apparently, it's pick and choose if they don't like you. That's what I look at it.
Because that was one of my questions I was going to bring up if and when this situation did get brought up tonight. We got one guy that takes a 5-day, he got to do a return to work test. Got another guy that does 30 days, doesn't have to take it.
The city should never dumped it into merit commission's lap to
Well,
do
then
it
if they had done
because
that, we would not have any type of defense, because we're already in
You-
a hole when we get disciplined. We're already in a hole, we're fighting just to get to level ground.
but I think the union would still have a argument with them, not the merit commission.
Yeah, we had to go through a lawsuit.
Well, right. I didn't want it in our hands anyhow, everybody knows that. Because I'm not gonna rubber stamp anything. Everybody guys should have their chance to talk and speak.
Because as I said before, I'll say it again.
You're innocent to proven guilty, and right now it's you're guilty to
Unless
proven,
you're a
you know?
firefighter that comes up for any kind of discipline, you're guilty, and you gotta prove yourself innocent. But yet, when I write a statement on a call that I've been on, that word means something. But if I tell you I didn't do something in the public, I didn't do this wrong, or I didn't do that wrong, my word doesn't count.
And I'd also like to bring up, here's a, I've wondered for a long time, why does the deputy chief get the names of who's being drug tested? And the reason I ask that is, and I'm not saying any deputy chief has done this before or the current ones would. What stops that deputy chief from saying, my name's on there, I'm not gonna pass, I'm not going? Or texting one of his buddies and saying, hey man, I know you've been on vacation, your name popped up, you need to get clean. How is that, who decides that the deputy chief gets those names?
No idea. I don't know how it's done.
Answer the first part of that question. I have requested or told them that if my name comes up or one of the deputy chiefs comes up, that it goes to the opposite person, so they don't know.
But what
That
stops?
answers that question.
No, it doesn't though.
How does it not?
What stops him from not telling you or just saying, hey,
You're not gonna know. I'm saying, your first question was, if it's sent to if the deputy chief's name is on it, or my name's on it.
yeah.
I've asked them not to send it to us, the person that's name is on it.
Right, but
No,
if it's,
and then the deputy chief comes to me and says, hey, you gotta take the drug test.
but what stops him from, like, not making you do that? What if he just doesn't come tell you to do that?
Okay.
Well, I don't.
There's that option is there, right? I'm not saying anybody.
There's always an option for a certain
Yeah,
thing, yes.
we're trying everything we
But
can to.
what we're talking about is what we're
I'm asking
gonna,
for transparency is all anybody wants here.
let's get back to where we're supposed to be.
Why can't they come down directly to Station 1 or something and tell the battalion chief, hey, you're gonna go get this person right now, or whoever. Have somebody from the city come get the people if it's,
Okay.
Well, they tell the battalion chief what's gonna stop him from doing it. I've eliminated every possibility that I
okay, then why
can.
doesn't somebody from
Somebody
the,
has to
That's-
say
why
that.
does,
That's something you guys are gonna have to argue with the city. We have nothing to do with how it's done. We just get the results and if something comes in front of us.
we just don't get an answer from anybody at the city. I've tried it one time on my own time, several times.
We need
I've
it,
been told, I'll get you the information, I'll get it to you.
right.
I don't have any of it.
I'll be happy to go down and try to help.
But what we need to do is,
I was with it at one point.
what we're gonna do, go ahead before I start.
So as firefighters, we're held to higher standards. We have to follow standards, procedures, and policies. So we're held to a high standard. So when we're required and lives are on the line to follow these policies, is it ridiculous for us to expect the city to follow their city policy as well?
They should.
We have evidence, we have proof that the policy was not followed with the documentation, that it was not a DOT test. At that point, why is anything moving forward going to determine how this firefighter's life moving forward is going to be?
That, in our executive meeting, when it was brought out, that was why we made the decision we did not to give them the 30 days, because there were discrepancies. But we did say in that meeting that we would, until further investigation, what we're gonna do with the 5 days the chief gave. We went through that little investigation, and it came out not to give that person any more time off, and we waited for this meeting. And all of a sudden, we're making a motion to still give them the 5 days. I don't know what changed or anything. So it's up to you guys, you know, if you want to keep that motion. I just don't believe that the city will, if you say not to do, I think they still will try to do, they still want to push. That's my opinion. I don't know. I prefer to make a motion not to give him all his 5 days back.
Well, we got,
No, I want to give him his 5 days for having the accident with the ladder truck.
For that.
Yep,
Now, that could be in the motion, but not anything to do with a drug test.
I can't answer that.
Well, the reason He got the drug test because of the truck.
Because of the accident.
Okay, exactly. So he should get time off for an accident. Nothing to do with
Last is 5 days.
Tanisha George wants him to go through classes and everything.
That's nothing to do with us. Nothing, we don't take care of that.
Well, sure it is. If we say, no, he don't get no time off, then you can't touch him.
No, I'm talking about as far as the drug screen and the whole other deal, the classes.
The way she explained it to me, since he still got rolled up by the chief for the 5 days that the chief gave him, we are in our right to send him through classes. What she said to me. Tanisha George, and I said, wait a minute. We made a motion that there is no violation of any drug policy.
Right.
None. And since the chief still wrote him up for 5 days, she still wants to send him, and I think it's wrong.
And he'd be treated as the employee who failed his first drug test, and he comes back again, we'd have to terminate him.
How's the department handled accidents in the past?
Not like you guys are talking about. Kyle Gish, local 475 VP. You guys discussing a suspension based on an accident is unprecedented for an employee. You would have to, because the penalty came in as part of a drug investigation, it would have to be based on that alone. And since that's being expunged, or you guys are talking about expunging it, then it should either be wiped completely off, and the firefighter should be given their time back and wiped off his record. Unless you can prove otherwise, that there's some other thing going on here, but it sounds like because Working Well has kind of bungled the whole drug test to begin with, you can't penalize him for something that didn't actually occur. Because at this point, the chief, if that's the way you look at it, that it was a flawed test, then the chief's write-up is based off of opinion. He has no basis for the write-up. That's just my opinion.
All right, I'm gonna ask the question again, because we kind of veered off. Has the merit commission disciplined anyone for an accident only in the past? What's the policy been?
There's been write-ups for accidents, correct. I don't know specific
Suspensions, I think is what you're asking.
Yeah, specifically suspensions.
I have not.
Not first offense.
I have not.
Okay.
Like I started saying, with our disciplinary codes, it's built up.
All right, well, yeah, I'm looking for consistency here too on what we're doing about the accident,
Right.
okay?
But this wasn't about the accident, it was about the drug test. That's the thing.
Well, we didn't have the all, he wouldn't have got drug tested.
You can't suspend it, you're veering off now, it's no longer about the drug test, now you want to use the 5 days because you wrecked a truck. So now it's like, okay, we screwed up here.
That was
we
probably given
screwed up.
5 days.
Now we're gonna move over for wrecking the truck. I've been on almost 6 years, these trucks have been wrecked quite a few times. I have not seen one person suspended for wrecking a city vehicle, ever. I've not seen in 6 years anybody's time or money taken from them.
Because accidents are accidents.
They're accidents, and this whole
Well,
situation wouldn't
if you
happen.
never suspended on a first offense in the past, there's no reason to start it now, and I would not support that in any way. Secondly, the test is boggled, no matter what, it's not crystal clear, he failed the test, period. So, that's my opinion. You have a pending motion, but did you second this motion?
No, I didn't second it.
Okay, so you can withdraw your motion if you change
I'll
it.
withdraw my motion.
You want to make a motion.
I have to step off the floor.
Well, so I let him walk around.
I make a motion that we give the firefighters 5 days back that the chief suspended them due to the fact that they never got time off before for an accident. We want to be consistent, like Mr. Beege said.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions on the motion?
No, if I may comment, in addition, I have no trust in the test itself. So I'm discounting any findings on the test, in my opinion.
I still want to make that he's not to be treated as an employee who failed his first drug test.
Well, he's not, after we already we didn't give him any more time off, and we specifically said in that motion that night that this is not considered a failed test or anything.
Yeah.
I'll agree with him.
All in favor? say by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Nays? Motion carries. Any commission comments? Any more commission comments?
Is there someplace else we get besides work one,
Well,
drug test?
when I was on a job, we came here.
Okay,
And the guy the guy that did the testing stood in the bathroom with you while you did your test. That was how we got tested. He was here, he did the test, he did.
but who orchestrated? Where'd he come from, Santa Claus?
Well, I don't know, whoever used to take care of
I
that,
don't
the
know.
city. Who does it is this, yeah, and I think it's.
It was a private enterprise?
Whatever position she's in, what is that? Tatanita, what is she? Personnel director.
They're out of Memphis. I don't know the name,
But
but
it's-
they're out of Memphis.
It's the personnel director, and she's the person that used to give the 30 days. If he came up positive, the merit commission never heard it, the chief never heard it. It was an automatic rubber stamp, you're positive, boom. Now, if you want to fight it, take us to court and fight it.
Yeah.
I'm not a rubber stamper, like I said. I'm not rubber stamping anything. I want to hear both sides of the story before I make a decision. So, I think it should be in the city's hands still and away from us, and just, it's automatic 30 days. Let them fight it the way they want to.
Right.
Now, we're here fighting it, so. Any other commission comments?
I've got a question off this subject. How's our new truck coming?
Oh, it's at stage 2 right now.
Oh, it is?
Started working on it today, put the equipment on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's good. What's that? This is stage 2 actually. It was a 2 earlier, did you send it over? Why did you?
Station 4 now.
You want that one?
Station 4.
Cleveland Ave.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting equipped right now.
Cool.
Hopefully by the end of the week, I would think.
I swing by there tomorrow.
4 days.
Motion adjourned.
Support.
Next meeting, Monday, November 6th. 2023, 5 p.m. Thanks for everybody coming.
Saturday for dinner.
Thanks for everybody coming.
Is that high? Did you find it?